Hey, Jonah here. I got a great harmonica to share with you today. It's the JDR Assassin. Stay tuned for a full review and a demo at the end. Let's jump into it. Hey, Jonah Fox here, and today I'm reviewing the JDR Assassin. This is a $65 harmonica that is made by a Chinese company. I've heard of this brand before, but recently you haven't been able to get one unless you imported it directly from China with a long shipping time. So they recently released it on Amazon, and I picked it up. Here's what I think. First of all, opening up the box, it comes with a really nice case. I generally don't use these single cases anymore, but as far as they go, this is the highest quality of single harmonica case that I've seen that comes with a harmonica. This is much better than the cases that come with a Hohner crossover, as an example. In the box, there's a piece of paper that shows you the notes, but they also mentioned they have a 30-day guarantee. So if you have any reed problems, you can go and get a replacement. And to my knowledge, most companies don't have that. So that's a point for JDR. I think this harmonica looks pretty nice. I don't mind the all plastic design. It reminds me of a Hohner CX12. So this harmonica is the only plastic cover harmonica that I own. And not only does it look kind of similar, it also sounds kind of similar as well. I think it's just due to these plastic covers, but I'll get to the sound in a minute. My first impressions of the harmonica is that it's a good weight. It doesn't feel like a toy. I really don't like Lee Oscar harmonicas as an example, because I just feel they're too light. It just doesn't feel like a real instrument in my hands. And this harmonica has some decent heft to it, which feels pretty good in that way. It's also very contoured. The top cover and the bottom cover plates have a contour. I don't know if you can really see it on the video, but it's a little bit more pronounced than some other harmonicas that I have, and I think it feels really good. So this harmonica feels good to hold. There's no sharp edges or any other ergonomic problems that you may run into, so the design is really good. It has a plastic comb, and the comb, I think, is really well shaped. It feels good. It doesn't have any weird tastes, which is something that often happens on cheaper Chinese harmonicas, so there's no problems here. So let's go take this apart. Using their words, this harmonica's reeds undergo a low temperature treatment process, resulting in flattened reeds and excellent air tightness for the harmonica. This enables easy overblowing and allows for the realization of various blowing techniques. There's also a dampening sheet on the reeds, which should prevent some unwanted noise. I'll get to how it performs in a minute, but they are using a different process to improve air tightness and overblow ability, which I think is great. I think the harmonica market needs more innovation. The general design of the harmonica has been pretty stagnant, and I like seeing companies trying new things. So I'm definitely all for this new design process if it can make the harmonica play better and give you access to overblows, which we're going to test in a minute. So let's talk about how it plays. I'm going to give you another demo, and I'll give you a longer demo at the end. So here we go. So this is not my favorite harmonica tone ever, but it's perfectly fine. In comparison to some other harmonicas in my collection, it sounds a little bit more thin and sterile in comparison, but it's not bad. It's just a specific flavor of sound that doesn't happen to be my preference, but I don't really have any complaints. It's also not particularly quiet, but it's also not the loudest harmonica that I've ever played. As I said earlier, it has some tonal qualities that are interesting. I'm not really sure how to describe them. It sounds a little close to my Hohner CX12, like I mentioned earlier, which is probably just a result of these plastic cover plates. I don't see this written down anywhere, but I suspect that this harmonica is in equal temperament tuning like the Hohner Golden Melody. This is usually the case with harmonicas that are manufactured in Asia. Equal temperament just means that the notes are like dead on in tuning, which means that the notes should sound really good, and the chords should sound pretty good as well. The problem I have with equal temperament tuning, especially if you want to be a blues player, is it doesn't really have some of that bluesy grit and bite that you might be expecting from other harmonicas, especially bronze reed Hohner harmonicas, like the Crossover as an example. It doesn't have quite as good of a sound as those. It's a little bit more thin and sterile, as I said, but again, it's not bad. I know I'm nitpicking on the sound, but personally, I don't really care much about the sound of my harmonicas because when I play, you notice the sound differences, but it's not a big deal. When I record, my sound often gets processed anyways. And then when I perform, it's really hard to tell harmonicas apart when they are being run through a mic and an amp. They all pretty much sound the same. It's much more important about how they play, and this harmonica plays great. If I had to summarize it, it feels fast and precise. In my experience, harmonicas feel like they have different profiles that let you move at faster or slower speeds as you move the harp from side to side. I'm a guitar player too, and on guitar, it's very common to say when you're looking for a guitar, oh, that guitar has a fast neck, and that means that you can just glide up and down it effortlessly. There's some really subtle differences that make some guitars feel really good to play, and I get the same feeling with this harmonica. When playing this harmonica, I feel like I can easily glide from side to side and land on a precise note without too much difficulty. Honestly, I think the Assassin name really fits just based on the playability alone. All the bends also work really well. Take a listen. It doesn't feel quite as airtight as some custom harmonicas and the Arkia harmonicas that I normally play, but that's nitpicking. This is a great setup harmonica. The claim to fame on this harmonica is the overblow. So how do they work? You should be able to overblow on this harmonica. So I think that they work really well in my experience, and I'm happy to say that because I've gotten some other harmonicas that were designed for this in the past that did not function very well as far as this goes. So I can easily overblow on hole 4, hole 5, and hole 6. Hole 6 is super easy, so I'll probably do a little bit of reed tweaking to make these even better on, especially hole 5 is a little slow for me, but it's not bad. I can even get the overdraw on hole 7. So for $65, if what you care about is overblows, this is a fantastic deal. Most high-end harmonicas that are at this price or higher from most manufacturers cannot be reliably overblown without extra setup. So this is my new go-to recommendation for a harmonica that can allow you to overblow on a budget. I do prefer a good custom harmonica, and I really like the Arkia harps, which are another out-of-the-box harmonica that can be overblown, but this wins as a budget option. So if you want to learn how to overblow and you want a harmonica that's capable of it, this one is going to do the trick, and they have that guarantee. So even if it is not perfect, you can probably get one that is. I'll leave you with a full demo in a minute, but my final thoughts are that this harmonica looks and feels great. The sound is on the thin side a little bit, probably due to the plastic covers and the temperament that they chose, but you can still use this harmonica to play any kind of music. The most important part about any harmonica is how it plays, and this is up there with the best of them. I've got custom harmonicas that don't play as well as this one, and it can overblow for $65. Honestly, that's pretty incredible. The only other comparable harmonica at this price that can overblow are the harmonicas by Arkia, and they start at $90. So if I had to put a head-to-head battle between the two, I would choose the Arkia for slightly better playability and tone that's a little bit more to my preferences. However, if budget was my main constraint and I wanted a harmonica that allowed me to overblow, this one is a total win. I hate having harmonicas that have different capabilities because once you learn how to overblow, you want to have access to those notes on all of your harmonicas. It feels very uneven when you can overblow on 3 harmonicas, but not the rest of them. And previous to any of these newer out-of-the-box harmonicas with this capability, you'd have to either do the setup yourself on all of your harps or get a set of custom harmonicas. And customs are probably better in most cases, but they start at around $200, and it will often take you months to get one back from a harmonica customizer. And for that reason, I think this is a great harmonica because you could theoretically build a whole collection of these so you can overblow on all of your harmonicas without completely breaking the bank. And you can get them delivered quickly on Amazon, which is always a plus. So I recommend the JDR Assassin. It's a really great harp, and I'm going to leave you with a demo of me playing the blues, so I hope you enjoy it.